This is our new home, Mommy and I.
I was dumbfounded by my emaciated grandchild's words. After all, the shabby tent in the riverbed hardly looked like a home. But my 5-year-old grandchild seemed unfazed, perhaps unaware of the gravity of the situation. What on earth is going on? I wondered, as another shocking revelation hit me. This is absolutely unacceptable. Fueled by anger, I vowed revenge for my daughter and grandchild. Congratulations on your wedding. I, Cindy, embraced my 30-year-old daughter, Jennifer. She looked radiant in her wedding dress, clearly blissful.
Thank you, Mom.
Her groom was the second-generation CEO of a certain company. Michael, her partner, showered her with expensive dinners at fancy restaurants and lavish gifts. Initially, I had rejoiced at this promising match, hoping for my daughter's happiness.
I'm glad you're pleased, Mom.
Jennifer, always considerate, smiled gently. The wedding went smoothly, and I prayed for my daughter and her husband to lead a harmonious life. Little did I know what challenges lay ahead. Although I had hoped Jennifer would live happily, I discovered something shocking after my daughter and son-in-law got married. My son-in-law Michael held outdated views, what we might call a traditional mindset of male superiority. After the birth of their daughter Mia, I visited my daughter's home.
Jennifer, tea.
Yes.
But Michael not only treated my daughter roughly while holding the baby, but also left her standing while trying to talk to me. I couldn't help but frown and asked, "Michael, do you always treat Jennifer this way?" He nonchalantly sipped the tea Jennifer had made for him and said,
I thought a wife should serve her husband. Is there a problem?
He seemed completely indifferent. I protested. Since I entrusted my daughter to you, I want you to treat her better. But my son-in-law remained unyielding. Our thought processes were fundamentally different. As I was leaving, I whispered to Jennifer, "Feel free to talk to me if anything happens." She nodded silently. Walking home, squinting at the sunset, I thought, come to think of it, my late husband was similar. Even though he's no longer in this world, he also adhered to outdated values and always spoke to me in a commanding tone. It made me wonder if husbands have always been like this throughout history, and I sighed. Afterward, I continued to have days without seeing my daughter and granddaughter. Even when I tried calling Jennifer, there was no answer or callback. Is Jennifer too busy? Perhaps she's caught up with childcare. I worried incessantly until one day, finally, the phone rang. Hello, Jennifer. Are you okay? But the person on the other end wasn't my daughter. It was Michael, my son-in-law.
Long time no see.
Ha! Michael? Why are you calling with Jennifer's phone? Michael's voice, laced with irritation, responded to my question without answering.
You're the one who persistently called my wife's phone, aren't you? Even if you try to contact Jennifer, it's pointless. She's already mine.
Frustrated, I pleaded. Don't treat someone's daughter like an object. Give her the phone. Michael snapped.
Enough. Don't contact us again.
And with that, he hung up. As I listened to the pips, I sat there in shock. Simultaneously, I grew increasingly worried about Jennifer. So, I carefully timed my visit to coincide with the hours when my son-in-law was away at work. However, when Jennifer appeared at the doorstep, her expression was somber.
What are you doing here? My husband despises you, and he's forbidden me from seeing you.
I'm sorry, but I've been worried about you. Are you truly okay being with Michael? Jennifer lowered her eyes sadly, leaving me feeling helpless. Jennifer, please come home with Mia, I implored, extending my hand. But she forcefully pushed it away and glared at me.
Don't be foolish. Do you intend to make Mia a fatherless child?
Her sternness left me speechless. Jennifer continued.
When you interfere, unnecessary tensions arise between my husband and me. Please, leave us alone.
But I'm concerned about you, I protested.
Mind your own business. I'm happily surrounded by my wealthy husband and adorable daughter. There's no need for us to talk anymore. Go home.
She snapped, slamming the door shut. In shock, I stood outside their house for a while, unable to move. Is it better for Jennifer's happiness if I stay away? Rejected so strongly by my daughter, I had no other recourse. I wiped away the tears that had unknowingly streamed down my cheeks and walked away disheartened. As the years passed without ever meeting my daughter, Jennifer, I couldn't go a single day without thinking about her and Mia. Despite my concern, there was nothing I could do. I prayed for their happiness from afar, mindful of not causing any inconvenience to Jennifer. I focused on my own health, living with the hope that somehow, they were doing well. One morning during my routine walk, I decided to take the riverside path. Perhaps it's time to revisit the riverbank, I thought, gazing at the morning sunday. But there, unexpectedly, I encountered someone. Oh. What's that? An unfamiliar tent stood in the riverside area, its worn appearance evident. And as the entrance opened, a child of about 5 years old peeked out. My heart nearly stopped when I recognized the girl washing her face by the river. With trepidation, I approached, and the child noticed me, offering a bright smile.
Hi.
Hi, are you Mia?
Yes. How do you know my name?
Oh, I see now. I'm Cindy, your grandma. The last time I saw this child was right after she was born when I visited my daughter and son-in-law's home. However, the granddaughter standing before me now was a spitting image of Jennifer when she was little. Yet, Mia's frail body appeared painfully thin. What are you doing here? I asked. Mia beamed with excitement. Perhaps camping felt like an adventure to her.
This is our new home, Mammy and I.
She exclaimed. Ha! Just then, Jennifer, my daughter, opened the tent flap. She froze when she saw me.
Mom.
Her trembling voice barely audible, she quickly pulled Mia inside the tent. Jennifer, why are you here? What's going on? I asked. Jennifer's stern tone rejected me. I didn't know the details, but it was clear this situation was serious. Don't worry. I'll help. Everything will be okay, I reassured her. Gradually, Jennifer's tearful voice emerged from inside the tent.
Mom, please help.
And so, I protected my daughter and granddaughter, bringing them back home. After preparing baths and meals, I waited for them to settle down before hearing the full story. The content left me shocked. Jennifer's husband, Michael, strictly adhered to traditional gender roles at home, treating Jennifer like a servant. Moreover, he viewed her solely as a means to bear children. Right after giving birth to their son, Liam, who was to be the company heir, Jennifer was kicked out of their home. I hadn't even been informed about the existence of my other grandchild. Jennifer shared tearfully how she was relentlessly criticized when Mia was born, as she couldn't produce a male child. And when Liam arrived, she was deemed useless. Jennifer spoke tearfully as she stroked Mia's head. Jennifer revealed that when she was expelled from their house, Michael threatened to harm me and Liam if she sought help from family or others. Unable to return home, she resorted to living in a tent. Her rejection of me when we crossed paths was to protect me. I won't tolerate this. Having learned everything, tears flowed uncontrollably. Don't worry. I'll find a way, I vowed, holding Jennifer and Mia close. First, we decided to gather evidence of Michael's wrongdoing. However, when my daughter was kicked out of the house, she had very little with her. Almost penniless and dressed in what she wore, she survived by foraging grass from the riverside for meals. How did you manage to set up that tent?
Actually, I secretly borrowed it from Michael's house, from the storage shed.
Although she looked apologetic, desperate times call for desperate measures. My daughter and granddaughter lived in that tent, camping by the riverside for about 2 weeks. According to Jennifer, her smartphone was also confiscated, likely still at Michael's house.
I recorded evidence of how he mistreats me, but it's not enough to take any action.
He probably anticipated that. Michael's cunning left me grinding my teeth in frustration. Next, we explored legal avenues. However, hiring a lawyer seemed financially daunting. Besides, Michael, being a well-off CEO, would undoubtedly hire a top-notch attorney. After much discussion, we settled on a different approach to corner my son-in-law. Within just 3 days, Michael stormed into our home, shouting and pounding on the front door from early morning.
Open up. This is what you're doing, isn't it?
Fearing he might kick the door down, I reluctantly let my son-in-law in. But secretly, I thought, here we go! Because this was the beginning of our counterattack. Can I help you with something? I feigned fear, putting on a submissive act. Michael snapped.
No use trying to talk your way out of this. Jennifer's here too, isn't she? She broke our agreement.
What are you talking about? Could you please explain? My son-in-law seemed irritated by my deliberately trembling performance.
So, you're the one who took photos of me living it up at the hostess club and spread them on social media. I don't know what methods you used, but our company's account is in turmoil.
Well, that's quite a predicament. But isn't it a case of reaping what you sow? While pretending to be fearful of Michael's anger, I secretly reveled in the situation. Indeed, we orchestrated that scheme. Michael's company exploited its employees with low wages, yet he frequented hostess clubs every night. When I discovered this, I discreetly paid a hostess at his favorite club to capture his behavior in photos. Then, I posted those pictures using an account I created, causing a social media uproar. As a result, the company's account was flooded with angry messages, likely catching the attention of colleagues and causing internal problems.
And then, the employees started complaining about my behavior all over social media. Thanks to that, even our clients abandoned ship. It's been a disaster.
His lost credibility and fleeing clients ultimately led to the downfall of his company, all thanks to our calculated move.
Jennifer, you're here, aren't you? Come out. I warned you, but you ran to this old hag for help, didn't you?
Threatening to harm me and my grandson, Liam, if she contacted our family or sought help elsewhere, right? I dropped the act and straightened my spine, facing my son-in-law. He seemed to sense something was different. That's not a warning. It's a threat, isn't it?
Shut up. Mind your own business, old hag.
He shouted and kicked a potted plant, but the heavy soil prevented it from toppling over. Instead, he hurt his foot and grimaced. Clearly agitated, he also kicked the shoe rack. Perhaps it's best not to provoke me further. I'm offering you advice for your own sake.
Meddling old woman. Just get Jennifer out here. This time, I'll make sure she's trapped in my house forever.
I silently handed him a piece of paper. When Michael looked at it, he saw large red letters that read "No trespassing." Don't come near my daughter again. Consider this a warning. Furious, he tore the paper and stomped on it. Observing his reaction, I casually reached behind the clock in the entryway.
What's that?
Michael asked, alarmed. Can't you tell? It's a camera, I replied. His face paled as he stepped back. Yes, I had anticipated his angry outburst and installed 3 video cameras at different angles near the entrance. After all, you threaten misfortune upon us, I explained. Checking the footage from one of the cameras, I saw clear evidence of Michael's behavior. We plan to submit this to the police. Furthermore, we've hired a lawyer to help us reclaim Liam, the grandson you took away from my daughter.
What are you talking about? People like you, poor and helpless, can't possibly arrange something like that.
Well, it turns out a compassionate lawyer stepped forward, I replied. When we posted about Michael's wrongdoing on social media, we included details about Jennifer's dire situation. That's when a lawyer reached out, expressing a desire to assist us. Michael valued 3 things: having a male heir, his job, and social status. Realizing he'd lose them all, he seemed stunned. He then collapsed at the entrance, trembling.
Please, forgive me. I was wrong.
He pleaded. I've known that for a while, I said, my gaze icy. Michael trembled, wiping tears from his eyes. Just so you know, I'll never forgive the mistreatment you inflicted on Jennifer and Mia. Even if my daughter forgives you, I won't. Afterward, I called out to Jennifer, who had retreated further into the room. Were you able to contact the police? I asked. Jennifer replied,
Yes, they should be arriving soon.
In fact, the moment Michael arrived, I instructed my daughter to hide in the back of the house and contact the police. Michael's eyes widened as he clung desperately to my legs.
Please wait. Help me. If I get arrested, it's all over for me.
Isn't this just karma for looking down on women all this time? For now, just keep your distance, I said, shaking him off. Michael then turned away, attempting to flee through the open front door. However, trained police officers were already waiting there. I handed over the video footage from the cameras as evidence. Staring sternly at my son-in-law, I said, "Your actions have all been recorded. Now you'll face the consequences of the law." And so, tearfully, Michael was bundled into the police car, disappearing from view as my daughter and I watched him go. Afterward, my daughter and Michael divorced. We successfully regained custody of my grandson, Liam, and also claimed substantial compensation for the mistreatment Jennifer endured, $13,000 in damages and $500 per month in child support for both children. Now, my daughter Jennifer, granddaughter Mia, and grandson Liam are starting a new life in my home. I believe we can create a happy future together, and I'll do whatever it takes to ensure that. Surrounded by my 2 grandchildren, I'm excited about the fresh start ahead.
How did you find this story? If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing to our channel. Until next time.